although we've spoken about it a bit, the focus of Deuteronomy chapter 6 centers on verses 4 through 9. And especially verses 4 and 5. And 4 and 5 are considered so important to the faith of Jehovah worship that it has been given a title, its own title, called the Shema. Now the Shema goes by another name as well. Hear, O Israel. Now, so fundamental to the basis of the entire Torah and to Christian principles is the Shema that we're going to examine it closely today. And for those who mistakenly say that Jesus Christ came to distance himself and his followers from the Torah, despite his forceful statement of Matthew 5:17 through 19 to the contrary, listen to this passage from the Gospel of Mark, that's also present in the other synoptic Gospels, from Mark 12:28 through 30. And one of the scribes came and heard them arguing, and recognizing that he had answered them well, asked him, "What commandment is the foremost of them all?" Jesus answered, "The foremost is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. You shall love the Lord God with all your heart, all your soul, all your might, and all your strength." Now listen to Deuteronomy 6, 4 and 5. Hear, O Israel, the Lord God is our God, the Lord is one, and you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, all your soul, and all your might. So Yeshua was, of course, quoting the Shema. He was quoting the Torah. But I hate to say it, but to listen to most evangelical church leaders today, you'd think everything Jesus did was essentially to say, well, just throw away everything you ever knew. I'm going to give you brand new laws and commandments to replace all those old ones. Further, notice that Yeshua also doesn't drop the word Israel from this statement, and he also does not replace it with church. It occurs to me that usually when we're asked what the greatest commandment is, most of us have been trained well enough to know the answer to that. So we immediately respond with, love the Lord with all your heart, mind, and strength. But since we're quoting Messiah, why is it we misquote him? Why do we start quoting halfway through that statement? Why do we drop, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our God, the Lord is one, that precedes it? So, Gentile Christians especially, if we're going to say that there are commands that are for Israel, and there are separate commands for the church, then along with disposing of the Ten Commandments, which was given to Israel as part of the law, intellectual honesty compels us to throw out this commandment from Jesus to love God, because he says this is for Israel. Doesn't he? Don't like that very much, do you? I don't like it either. Now, just so I'm not misunderstood, I'm stating emphatically, there's not separate commands and gospels for Israel versus for the church. And that, of course, the Ten Commandments and the Shema are for the church just as they're for Israel. I am also stating that it's heartbreaking, frankly, it's infuriating to me, that for so many centuries, institutional Christianity has chosen to falsely declare the abolishment of the Torah, supposedly to be replaced with Jesus' establishment of a whole new religion, completely apart from the Hebrew faith, a religion by, of, and for Gentiles. We have been led down, and we've pretty easily accepted it, a crooked path. And the fruit of that acceptance is the enactment of a series of doctrines that's led to the Crusades, the Inquisition, the creeping in of secular humanism, and the horror of the Holocaust. And now, in our time, too much of our Christianity has become self-absorbed, prosperity prosperity oriented, all the while ignoring the impact of the prophetic rebirth of Israel, the return of Jerusalem to the control of the Hebrews. We have seen the Christian institution move towards a more watered down but diversely tolerant kind of gospel. We've watched Jesus evolve into a primarily good man and a great pacifist philosopher. We've watched a growing denial of the existence of sin and evil, and the observance, of course, of paganized holidays, while at the same time denying and ignoring those holidays that the Lord himself has declared holy. The Shema really needs to be our wake-up call to all of God's people.